All right. All righty. Good morning, everybody. How you doing? Welcome to Stock Markets with Bruce. I'm your buddy, Uncle Bruce. It's Tuesday, March the 14th, 2023, and we're watching our early market data here. We have just a little less than an hour to go before we open for the day today. We just saw the inflation information come out, some pricing, and it's a tiny bit better, and the market doesn't mind it. Seems the stocks are doing all right because of this. I'm looking at the inflation gauge raised 0.4% in February as expected, and up 6% from a year ago. That is the story there. Dow's up 262 as best as I can tell you. S&P up 36, Nasdaq's up 95. And oil is down $1.26 at the moment. On stocks that will reflect what's going on, however, Goldman, for example, the bank stock, it's actually off a couple of dollars. It touched 322 to 324. It's now back to $320 a share. So it's up 6 on the morning, now 321. It's up 6 on the session. The question is this news going to be good for these interest rate sensitive and inflation rate sensitive stocks? At the moment, Goldman is 321. Looking at others, let's take a refresh over here. Let's take a peek. Our friend at SoFi, 563, they've backed off from 569 range. But Apple, for example, up 109. Goldman's is just at 320 a share. It's not going anywhere. Tesla holding a 172 gain. Microsoft is now negative 73. Pfizer's up 28, and Google is up 15 cents. We're not seeing a huge surge in this market. I don't see it. We'll see how this. With another 5 minutes or so, we'll know how the street maybe takes to it, or if anything is impacted at all. 321.99 now on Goldman. Trying to get back to 322 here. Can it break through that? We'll find out. 559 on SoFi, up a dime, but we were at 569, 570 just a few minutes ago. So there's a little pullback there. Headline: U.S. stock index futures maintaining pre-market gains after inflation data. And 12-month increase in CPI slows to 6% in February from 6.4% in the prior month. All right, these are just headlines coming through right off the get-go here. 240 gain on the Dow, 34 on S&P. Kind of holding along more or less. So this inflation issue so far in the first few minutes is not affecting the market in a positive way or all that negative. It's kind of more of a nothing burger, because it isn't all that controversial at this point. I am guessing that is what's going on right now. Fair enough. Welcome all to the program this morning from wherever you are on the planet. Say hi to me. Let me know where you're watching me from. What's your high temperature going to be today? You going to have any kind of decent weather where you are? How's it going, everybody? How are your options doing? Any trades you're thinking of doing, or have you pulled off some successful rollovers, or do you have any questions on what you think you should be doing? Let me know. Welcome to the thumbs up meter, everybody. Already at 27 here. Ricardo, 28. Thank you, guys. DQ, Mirko, Alex, Mandu, Hawkeye, JR, you're all here. Appreciate it. It's great to see you. JR, yeah, SoFi got up to 570 a few months ago. That's right. Let's see. We need an afternoon show called Bell Ringing with Larry, says Charlie. DQ. Larry will be here unless he is traveling or dropping a friend off at the airport or at the dentist or serving jury duty. But otherwise, Larry's here. You can always count on Larry. He's a busy man. That's right. We love Larry Titus. What else is going on? Flint Creek. Hey, Dad is here. Welcome, my dad. First I've seen him since the lockdown. Way to go. JR, I think Bertie threw in some Mexican jumping beans in the market this morning. Hello, Flint Creek Dad, says DQ. What else we got going on here? I had to shovel snow this morning, says DQ. Wow. Mike W is saying, good morning. 36 Phoenix A 36 a thumbs up. Phoenix is 82 degrees today. Nice. DQ says our high is going to be 30 here in Pittsburgh. Yikes. Good morning, says Lame Duck. Touch grass. Propane is expensive. Tough times out there. Welcome one, welcome all. 226 is the uptick on the Dow at the moment, 33 on S&P, 94 on NASDAQ. I am thinking we're going to have an update today. We are seeing a lot of buying coming into the regional banks that have been shellacked the last couple of days since last Thursday, Friday. And there's definitely been some nibbling on deals here on stocks. Goldman right now is 322, by the way, of 659. Mainly unchanged now from where we were before the announcement on inflation. So we're not doing much over there. Federal Reserve, is it Federal Reserve Bank is the one we've been following here a lot. Keeping an eye on it. Let's see if I show this anywhere here. Shoot, no. Just not showing. Hang on. Hang on, folks. And 12 inches, yeah, just seeing headlines going whipping by here, trying to stay on top of it. Here, FRC, this is Federal Reserve, First Republic Bank. Boy, I can't remember these guys' name. First Republic Bank, 49.12 is where it is at the moment, up 17.91. Did break into the low 50s for a bit, but it's backed off since this inflation report, just on a cautionary move. 49.21 in the pre-market, 9.8 million traded, up 58% from yesterday's close. Just to give you an idea of what kind of money is coming into these different banks right now. That is what's going on. There's a lot of speculation going on, and I caution any of you guys to be anywhere near these things because they can drop just as fast as they can go up. But it looks to me like the so-called crisis is over. As far as the banking crisis goes, all those clickbait headlines you were exposed to the last day or two, the end of the world, the end of the banking system, is your money safe? All these clickbait headlines have run their course, and the Fed stepped in and guaranteed all deposits for these institutions, and there's no issue anymore at all. But these clickbaiters will not stop with their bunk to try to hype their readers to read their articles, which they are, of course, utterly useless because they don't know jack squat. In any event, the banking fix, if you want to use that word, the banking correction, the stepping in and fixing up these banks, will be paid for by all banks going into a pool. This is kind of an insurance they all have to buy into the system. But at the end of the day, it's the customers of the banks that pay. That's sort of the bottom line. At the moment, the biggest losers for this entire fiasco with Silicon Valley Bank are the shareholders of Silicon Valley Bank and any bondholders of Silicon Valley Bank. They have been essentially wiped out. Signature Bank in New York, investors there wiped out, and not a chance to sell or do anything. And that's what happens when you're involved in a small regional bank. If Fed steps in and determines that your bank is not solvent or undercapitalized, you got problems. And no matter how good the chairman looks in the suit, it's not going to save you. I don't know. It's just the way that is. SoFi, good news. Not a regional bank. Not at all a regional bank. It's a retail bank, and they have a strong deposit base, and they don't have exposure to these specialized areas that these banks were involved with. Signature involved in crypto, Silicon Valley involved with startup and high-tech Silicon Valley financings and whatnot. The folks over at Silicon Valley, on the one hand, did everything right and did everything wrong at the same time. Everything right was that they took a lot of their clients' deposits and put it into treasuries. Very solid, safe thing to do. What they didn't do, it was they didn't buy insurance against those entities. They were long U.S. Treasuries, figuring that was good enough. But when interest rates went rising higher last year, the value of the treasuries went down. And this is what the bank is marked to as far as its assets go. And so assets on hand versus value, perceived value, started to shift. And so they were getting 1% interest, 0.5% interest on their money from the Fed buying these treasuries. But when the treasuries drop 20% in value, you have a 20% shortfall in liquid cash availability. Got caught in a squeeze. And when the street figured out, and when I mean the street, we're talking Silicon Valley, which is the most, how do I say this? These are the okay, in the 30s, in the 20s, and the big crash in 1929, all that, a bank run meant people lined up at the door to come in and take cash out and just walk out the door with cash and go to another bank with the money, or stuff it in a suit into a mattress. In Silicon Valley, a bank run is done on this, and it's done in a microsecond, and it can be done from anywhere in the world. You don't have to line up at the front door of the bank to withdraw your money. You can just click it out. And so $44 billion got clicked out last Friday from this bank before it was shut down. And that did them in. They were already being hit Wednesday, Thursday. By Friday, it was over. And they could not fund the run, whether there was supposed to be a run or not. And you can't blame the customers for clicking their money out. You can't blame them because they had no assurances that their money was safe. No assurances. And the way Silicon Valley ran their business, it was sort of, you wanted a line of credit with us, you wanted all of our banking services, they had to have we had to be your only bank kind of game. And that was good and bad. Bad when it came to your eggs are all in one basket when this bank is in trouble. And a number of companies were facing ruin, financial ruin, if the bank was not made whole by the Federal Reserve, which it did. Quite a fascinating story, and there will be books out next week. Books will be available. You can read all about it. Anyway, we've gone through that, and we're now on the other side where certain stocks went too far, too low, too quick. And so now the street is coming back in to grab bargains, and it's like SoFi. We're back to 570 right now because the street is figuring out with SoFi after crapping out at 510 yesterday morning. 510 yesterday morning. If anybody bought any, we're now at 572. We have come in the last 5 days, just last week. The shares were 664, 665 just last week, Wednesday. And here we are at 575 right now. And this is looking great, 577 right now in SoFi. So it's moving higher. When it's back to 650, we can go, okay, we're back. But right now, we're still 75 cents away from that. Keep in mind, these shares were at 1.725 on February the 15th. So we have a ways to go from a month ago. A month ago, 725. And you recall 2 weeks ago, I suggested writing 750s for Jan 2024, bringing in $1.30, $1.35, $1.39. But you did that, and then you scooped these calls back at nice cheap prices. Great. Those of you who didn't buy them back, doesn't matter. You're fine. You're still fine. Let's see if the stock can ultimately break the resistance level it has to break to go anywhere, and that's 850. This stock has got to go through 8.5 to tell me we can go to $10 or $12. We have to break that barrier, and I don't see that happening today. Love to see this break $6 today or tomorrow. That would be great. First step recovery would be great, but we'll find out. We're up 27 cents in the pre-market on SoFi. That's fabulous. Let's get more. But believe me, this stock is not leading the market. It is going with the flow of cash going into these regionals. 48.73 is where First Republic is trading right now, with the high today of over 53.50 already so far today. That is what I see over there on these banks. All right. Okay, everybody, welcome to the party, pal. We're up 197 on the Dow right now, up 29 on S&P. We're up 70 points on Nasdaq. All three markets are 2/3% or 3/4% higher than yesterday's close. I think we're going to have an up day for the most part today. The oil market is off 148 a barrel to 73.32. There is word or concern that the growth rate of the economy might not be so fantastic, and so we're getting this. Well, gee, maybe the demand for oil isn't going to be quite as great as thought, and that could sort of hold things up. Well, that's what we're watching for. We heard this last week. I think it was on China. We've heard this before from Europe, that Europe won't be doing so great. Now we're hearing there might be a slowdown in America. And the other uncertainty at the moment is, what's the Fed going to do with interest rates? Are they going to raise rates on March 22nd? That's next week. Are they going to raise rates half a point, quarter of a point to battle inflation that we just got the report on is still around 6.5%? That's over the target. Now that the bank thing has been looked after, back to solving interest rate problems. What if another half a rate point hits the market, bonds drop again? Are there any banks out there like Silicon Valley that are sitting on a ton of treasuries that are upside down, that they're down on? Is this going to be a problem? I do not know. And this is what the Fed is asking itself. If we raise rates, are we going to cause more bank failures? And to me, being the old school old man that I am just dumbfounded how a bank can go under with a 4.5% Fed fund rate. This is ridiculous. This is utterly stupid. There should not be any financial institution having problems with a 4.5% Fed funds rate. I will buy into the argument that it's not where the rate is, it's where it was and how fast it got here has been the problem. I will go with that and go, all right, yeah, that's true. If bonds do drop off 20% in 1 year in value, that can cause a problem for pension funds, hedge funds, mutual funds, ETFs. All kinds of entities will have lower returns if they are heavily concentrated in treasuries for yield. But banks should be able to be nimble enough to cover themselves. And this outfit here at Silicon Valley, they should have been covering their shortfalls a month ago, 3 months ago. They should have already been raising cash. Without too much fanfare, they could have raised a bunch of cash. And it didn't work out when they came clean to their investors what they were going to do. It's interesting. If the Fed is going to raise rates this next 10 days from now, 8 days, 10 days, could this add to additional bank problems elsewhere? Or will they pause for a month or two and assess as many banks as needed, the top, say, 100 U.S. banks by capital, to make sure that they are not vulnerable to an interest rate rise with a bond fall to undercapitalize them? This is one of those, wow, I wonder, delicate little game going on here. It sort of impedes the Federal Reserve the free license to do what they need to do, because if they raise rates and have to bail out a bank, raise rates and bail out a bank, this isn't good banking policy. This isn't good economics. This isn't good optics. This doesn't make American consumers feel good about a lot of economical things, including the safety of their jobs, the safety of their banks, the safety of their investments. Pension fund operators are going to go, where do I put my dough? Who do I do banking with? We don't want that. So we'll see. The good news, again, though, Silicon Valley was the 16th largest bank, not the third largest bank or the first bank in the world. They were number 16 in America. There are larger institutions than them by a country mile, and they are solid. They're in really good shape. So it looks like a lot of capital that left regional banks has gone into the upper banks, the bigger boys, and they're stronger. So the top 10 are probably more solid as banks than they were a week ago because there's more deposit money in their accounts now coming from the regionals. It's back and forth and back and forth. And there you go. Welcome, everybody, to the show. It's great to have you here. Let's see what's going on. What's the earnings date for ATIP? Does anyone know this? I thought someone mentioned it last week. I'd love to hear about that. Apparently, headline here, AMC APE conversion gets shareholder vote today. So that's coming up. How's that going to play out? The AMC story, how's that going to, the ATIP story, how's that going to play out? GameStop, a week today is earnings day. A week today after the bell, GameStop comes out with their earnings for the fourth quarter and full year. So we're going to find out a week from now just what's going on there. GameStop shares were higher this morning. Let me take a look here. We closed at 1675 last night. We're at 1698 right now, and the shares have touched 17 a couple of times so far today. That's the story. Novo Nordisk to lower prices of several insulin products. Headline just coming out. Novo Nordisk to lower prices on some insulins. Very, very interesting. Prices will be reduced by 65 to 75% lower. Very, very interesting. I have been shocked and not shocked the last number of years, for at least 5 years, where Americans crossed the Canadian border, especially before COVID. They would cross the Canadian border to buy insulin from Canadian pharmaceutical chains, and then take the insulin back to the United States for the next 3 months' supply, because the cost of insulin in Canada is like $30 for a batch versus $200 for a batch in America. It wasn't even close. I mean, it wasn't even, not even nowhere near area codes apart. We're talking international area codes apart. It was just stunning to us in Canada that the greatest country in the world, the United States, would screw its own people like this. And what is it, 10% of Americans have diabetes or whatever the number. It's a phenomenal number. It's ridiculous. You can't claim that the drug is a rarity. It's been around for 100 years. Should be cheap as borscht to make. Anyone can, not anyone, but I mean, pharmaceutical companies can produce this stuff. This stuff is not under patent that I'm aware of. Insulin is not under patent. I just don't understand, and we in Canada could not understand, how is it that we in Canada, 1/10 the size of America, we have this stuff at this price. You guys have it at that price. It just makes no sense. But then I noticed all the videos when you see a Super Bowl. There'll be videos on YouTube where plane spotters, fans that love watching planes land and take off. It's a thing. They post on YouTube the private jets coming in for the Super Bowl and leaving the Super Bowl, or for the Kentucky Derby or the Masters. And a whole bunch of these planes are owned by pharmaceuticals. It's a CEO and the directors and the top management of these pharmaceuticals. They all fly in on dozens and dozens of jets and live the lifestyle of the rich and famous. And when you charge whatever it is, $270 or $150, whatever you pay for insulin, you can see why. That's where the money comes from. If you have a basic drug like that, so overpriced, can you imagine all the other drugs that are overpriced, and Americans are getting stiffed? And so some of the Americans are living like great, and others are dying. I mean, dying. Physically, they are dying. It just blows our minds up here. And I'm sure the UK and Germany, we just kind of go, really? That's allowed? Is that legal? It's kind of like writing options. Are you allowed to write stock options to make a killing? Is that legal? I thought only pharmaceutical guys could do that. Anyway, Welcome to the party, pal. Here we are, another fun day as the old man rants and raves. Thank you, all of you who've reached out to me and let me know you supported my decision to end the afternoon show and get more time off. I will say, yesterday I didn't get any more time off. I had one-on-ones yesterday. I have put the word out, as most of you now know, but if you don't, that I'm now offering one-on-one sessions here during market hours now. So if you're interested in having a one-on-one session, to go over your investments and follow the markets live, you can look me up for a one-on-one because I don't do the afternoon show any longer, which used to start at 3:00. And so I'm available for several hours during the day if you're interested in having a one-on-one. If you're a Gold Bagel member of this channel and you'd like a one-on-one session, instead of sending me a $400 donation for the 1 hour session, it's $375. You get $25 off because that's what you're paying for 1 month of this channel already. And so I extend to you that offer, that for $375 you have a 1 hour one-on-one during live market trading hours. And so if you have an interest in that, I'd be happy to talk to you. The market closes at 4, and at about around 1 in the afternoon Eastern, noon Eastern. If you'd like to have a one-on-one anytime after noon Eastern, I'll try to squeeze you in. You'll have to give me a little flexibility on the exact timing because I have to finish one session with one person and then set the second session up with the second person to get into it, and there'll be a little gap there in between, so it won't be exactly on the hour. It might be 10-15 minutes after the next session is over. I'll get the next one in. We'll work it out. But yesterday it was a pleasure to see some of you yesterday on a one-on-one. We had a couple over the weekend as well, and it's always great to go through your account situation, where you're at, how far your account has come along. Congratulations to those of you who have been able to build up your inventory of deep in the money calls on GameStop and other stocks, allowing and making basically the gamblers on the floor of the options market pay your way higher. It's amazing the speed at which some of these accounts are growing their deep in the money call portfolios to write poor man covered calls. The gamblers out there are just funding a phenomenal expansion of my viewers' portfolios. For those of you who are trying to quit your day jobs and then get away from that 9-to-5 rat race, this has been a godsend. But you have to know how to do it right, and you've got to be on top of how poor man covered call writing works. You have to understand the art of rollovers. You have to understand what stink bids and stink offers are. You have to understand the 90-10 rule. You have got to really be on top of this. And so get your butt over to my website and check out the classes, 14 of which are available for you, several of which concentrate on poor man covered call strategies, rollover strategies, psychology of the markets, and so on. You really have got to get up to speed on this, because when I see you one-on-one, what I don't want to have to do, pray I don't have to do it, is to explain to you what an option is when you're having a one-on-one with me. I'm hoping that you've taken some classes already and you got a handle on it, because the classes are in plain English and they're 1.5 to 2 hours long. You can rewatch them as many times as you like, and you'll get a handle on how to do this option writing very quickly from these classes. And that makes it much easier for me and for you when you hang out here with this gang of regulars, talking to these folks here with all these comments. You'll understand what we're talking about, and you'll get it. You'll go, oh, that's what they mean by that. Oh, that's what that is. This is legal? Really? I can make this much money writing options? The poor man covered call strategy is a big liberator for those of you who want to get out of your day job. For those of you who are planning and are aging up in your 50s and 60s, you need to bolster the performance of your retirement account is you're not happy with a 3-4% yield from dividend income. You want and need much more than that, because the amount of capital that you are managing or is inside your IRA, 401k is just not sufficient in the modern inflationary world in which we're in to get by on. You folks have to learn how to write options on what you have or what you should be moving into to enhance your performance of your accounts. You've got to join what pension funds do. You've got to become a pension fund manager, a mutual fund manager, a hedge fund manager, an asset manager of your own assets to enhance the performance of your accounts. And for some of you out there, you're in this fork in the road, and it isn't one way or the other. There's 15 choices. And I hear this all the time on my one-on-one sessions, 15 zillions of choices, and it's just overwhelming. You're not sure which way to go, and you're doing nothing. You're just sitting there going, I don't know which way to go. I don't want to make a mistake. I get that. I totally understand this, and I sympathize. Having these one-on-ones can probably clear up a lot of misconceptions and also give you some certainty as to what you can and cannot do going forward and which direction you should consider. For some of you out there, you are, how do I say this? Some of you out there have enough assets available to you that you're managing that you don't realize you're managing, and that could be utilized to change your entire financial situation completely around a 180. And what I mean by this is, in some cases, some of you have positions through your employer where you own, you have monies into a 401ks and you can't get your hands on it. If your employer or the entity your employer uses will not allow you to convert it to a 401 to an IRA and get it out. I'm talking to Americans. Some of you in Canada can't get your hands on your company pension plan or savings plan unless you leave the firm. Same thing in America. You have to quit, go elsewhere, and then have it transferred to where you want it to go. And only then do you have control of your funds. There are a number of people out there, a high number of people out there who are in their 40s and their 50s and their 60s who actually have more capital in these kinds of accounts that they could be generating income from an option program that would allow them to quit their jobs right now and probably make more money on a monthly basis than they're earning at their jobs. And this gives them the freedom to say, well, if that's the case, I'm not going to come into work anymore because I don't need this check every 2 weeks from these guys. I can get my own check every 2 weeks from my own entity, which is even more than I'm making. I'd rather not work and manage my own money. Thank you very much. Show me how to do it. Classes are the first place you have to go. Consultation with me, maybe number 2. But then there are those of you out there who do have 401ks or IRAs. You have access to it. You've been through different jobs over the last 15, 20 years, different employers. You've had funds released to you for you to manage, and it's now inside, you're just consolidating it all into one IRA that you're going to trade. Fair enough. But you may find that it's sizable, but it's not big enough for you to really live off of it. So you're looking at a scenario where I got to keep working, Bruce, but I've got to work this money in the meantime to grow this account bigger so I can retire on it. But I have to keep working in the meantime before that reaches that point in time. But there are those of you who are in that position who do not realize that you actually have another avenue you can go to speed the process of self-employment or what have you. And that is rearranging assets you already have to enhance the amount of capital you're managing and make that capital work for you. When you have capital at your disposal that you can write options on, for example, you're making money work for you like you used to be when you were 18 years old. The kind of energy you had when you were a kid was endless. You could get 5 hours of sleep a night and work another 12-hour day the next day. Recovery time was incredible. Money is just like this. Money can work for you 24/7 when you have it. And for some of you out there, the answer is as simple as a line of credit through your house where you have all this equity in your home that you've built up for years and years and years and years. And with your IRA and your 401k and your savings, you add another $100,000 to $200,000 in cash on top of that to manage. You are in a position theoretically now to write options and be self-reliant. And you may find that it'll take you 3 to 6 months to fully get to that level. So you'll keep your day job in the meantime. You'll do this on the side and you'll build this up, but you'll go out and you'll take a home equity line of credit. You'll bring that capital in and you'll begin to manage it very conservatively. And as you gain confidence and become more comfortable in the doing of this, you will become an asset manager in your own right. That is the hope that I have for many of you out there who watch me casually or intently. There are so many of you that can actually make moves in the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 180 days, whatever it takes, where you can basically wean yourself off of the day job. Either your wife can quit her job, you can quit your job, the two of you take part-time gigs, the two of you turn into consultants. I mean, it's a complete turnover of your lives. You don't do it all in one 15-minute time frame. This takes time to absorb and to get into. And so if you want a one-on-one consultation with me to talk about the big picture that this is, that's another reason to have a one-on-one, because I'm not going to be at your Thanksgiving dinner next year to criticize you in front of all the relatives about what you and I talked about last year on the golf course. This is private, and this is where you can sit down and say, look, I want an independent opinion. I want your opinion on this. What do you think I should do? Or how should I do it? Or how can I do it? And why would I do it this way? Or what do you think I should do? Because you're on the outside looking in. You're not in the middle of this forest that I'm surrounded by. You're looking at the forest from the outside. You tell me what I've got. And these consultations have been revealing for everybody. They are really helpful for folks like you out there because you just need an independent opinion on just what is it you're faced with and where are you headed. And if I can help in any way, fantastic. I look forward to the opportunity. So if you'd like to have a one-on-one session with myself whenever you want it, whether it's Monday to Friday during market hours or on Sundays when the markets are closed, let me know. Send me an email at my email address, and it's right here, brucefarmer@hotmail.com. Let me know. And just say, Bruce, I'd like a one-on-one. My wife and I would like to sit down with you together. My husband and I want to sit down with you together. This is what we want to go over our accounts. We want to kind of go over our situations. You'll understand how old we are, what our kids are doing, where we're at in our lives. And you tell us what you think. And who knows, that might be exactly the beginning of the big change that you've always thought would someday happen, and big change for the right reasons. So anyway, there you go. That's the whole point. That's the plan. That's the whole plan right there. So let me know, brucefarmer@hotmail.com. And if I can help you out, figure out which direction you're going, fabulous. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much. GameStop still showing 16.98. First Republic Bank 48.75, up 17.54, up 56% this morning. The recovery of these banks is continuing. Over on the SoFi, let me take a look at Goldman Sachs result. 324 in Goldman. That's a good sign, up 9.29. So it's climbed back up over 322 to 324 near the high of the session this morning. That's a good indicator. Let's take a look at SoFi now. 571. We touched almost 580 or something like that, which is good to see. 1 million shares traded in the pre-market. Nice to have a little pop there. We've got, let's take a look at the other pre-markets. We have 17 minutes to go before we open. Rocket Lab is up 13 cents to 407. $5.73 on SoFi, up 24. GameStop up 59 cents, now $17.34. Okay, so GameStop is actually higher. My biggest iPad is frozen as usual. $17.34 on GameStop. That's a nice thing to see there. We got AMC down a penny, and we have AMC preferred shares up 15 cents to 188. Matterport is up 13 cents to 273. 23andMe is up 4 to 235. Nothing on Spire. I think there's a 2-cent gain on ATIP at 31.03. Smart Rent looks like it's up 6 cents to 270. Cyxtera is up 8 to 173. Apple gaining 147 now to 151.94. Goldman up 9.23 to 324.74. Cisco up 37 cents, 48.78. Tesla 361 higher, 177.90, now 342 higher. ARC Innovations up 121 to 38.19. Microsoft up 235 to 256. Pfizer's up 17 to $40.03. HBQ up 39 to 27.73. Google up 153 to 93.19. Amazon up 149 to 93.92. Nvidia's up $4, 233.65 range, and Unity is up 80 cents now at 28.66 or so. And that is the pre-market with 15 minutes left to go before we start trading on the session. Welcome one, welcome all to the party. And great to see you here. And we'll see just how this all works out. Let's take a look over here. Thank you, those of you who have thrown thumbs ups our way. We got 99 in the house. We're at a Wayne Gretzky level right now. Thank you. Keep those thumbs ups coming in if you can. We'll see if we can break 200 today. Thank you. There we go. 49, 39, 31. We're going for $50 again on the First Republic stock. Very interesting pattern there. The Dow now a gain of 307 points on the pre-market. We're up 45 on S&P, make it 46, and NASDAQ is up 137 points. The S&P is up 1.2%, NASDAQ showing 1.14, the Dow 0.96. Very close between the three indexes on gains. Oil down 155 at 73.25. Good for gas prices, good for inflation, good for the economy, not so good for oil producers. That's the story as I see it. I mentioned yesterday to you guys that the report came out over the weekend that the Saudi oil company, Aramco, cleared a net profit of $161 billion. I think that was for the year. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's a yearly earnings. And I was just thinking about that the reason they clear that much money is because of oil revenues to the country. I mean, when you produce oil for $10 a barrel, if that, and sell on the world market at even now it's 73, but in the last year, that oil and gas has been as high as 100 a barrel at points. How can you not make money? $161 billion. I don't mind people making money. I don't mind it. Make money. Alberta has made a lot of money in Canada. The province, the country of Canada is making a lot of money. The country of the United States of America is making a lot of money with high crude prices because there's a federal royalty on every barrel produced in the United States, as well as state royalties. Alaskans are benefiting, Texans, Oklahomans, and wherever oil is produced. And there are many states that produce oil and natural gas. I haven't got a problem with that. Congratulations. What I have a problem with, though, is where the money goes. And I don't have a problem with Canada and the U.S. doing what they're doing and funding their governments. And in the case of Canada, it goes towards tax revenues, which goes towards covering a lot of programs in Canada, which many of you believe is very socialist. But, healthcare is healthcare, highways are highways, airports are airports, bridges are bridges, seaports are seaports. unemployment is unemployment, pension is pension, and life is life. The U.S. spends its money the way it wants to spend its money. The U.K. does its thing. Norway does its thing with its sovereign wealth fund and its budget. Great. I don't have a problem with that. What I wonder about is 161 billion in profits into Saudi Arabia. How much of that dough ends up in the form of bullets and missiles and fighter jets and conflict, which ultimately means we over here we have to fund our militaries for bullets and conflict and peacekeeping and maintaining the order. It's the human race in its own unique way, going millions of different directions. We cannot be herded. We are cats, and we're not hurt. We can't hurt ourselves. We just go out into the world and go our separate directions. And those who have the most, those who have the gold rule, I guess, the golden rule. And there it is. We in the West are perpetuating the our own demise in a way. Not that we're going down, but we're perpetuating other countries' abilities to do stuff that we're not particularly thrilled about hearing and seeing, because we don't change our ways, and we are slow off the mark, and we have got internal strife in our own countries where one person says we should use less gasoline in our cars, and another person says you're not being American, you're anti-Canadian, you're anti our country. And then there are those who say, we really should clean up our pollution act, and others are saying, I want freedom, I want to be able to do whatever I want. And others saying we don't have a problem. There is no problem whatsoever. There's no climate issues to deal with. Everything's fine. I don't know what you're talking about. There's the dilemma that we're stuck in, and I'm excited for the future. That I see so much technology coming out now, and have now through my entire lifetime, that is really making mankind bit by bit better for its own ecology and environment. But we have a long way, obviously, to go. And the fact that we're still burning fuel to power machinery is ancient 1800, 1900 technology. It's amazing that we are still addicted to this form of everything, whether it's a lawnmower, whether it's a motorbike, whether it's an automobile, a city bus, that we are prepared to burn fuels like we did in the 1900s, early 1900s. We're still prepared to do that when we have got this phenomenal thing called electricity, and the cables are everywhere. It's not like, we can't get electricity to people who need it. Almost everyone that needs electricity gets it. And now we have perfected the amazing ability to buy boxes that contain these units, where we carry the box to a campsite out in the boonies, take the unit out of the box, and in there are solar panels as well as looks like an amplifier for a guitar player. And we set up these panels and shine them, let the sun shine on them during the day. And the sunshine goes through cables and comes into this box and powers up a lithium battery that allows the individual out in the middle of nowhere to power up one of these if you want, or power up a fan or a stove or a light bulb or a heating unit, what have you. Electricity on demand in the middle of nowhere with no power poles anywhere in sight. It just boggles the mind from this 1955 born person, because in 1955 this didn't exist. I remember when I was a kid and I saw solar missions by NASA, and they would land a lander on the moon before man landed on the moon in the early 60s, mid 60s. A lander would land on the moon and would have these solar panels that would deploy, and it would absorb the sunshine from the sun on the surface of the moon, and would then power the unit that just landed on the moon to scoop up dirt and take pictures. Then it was done in Mars, of all places. And then the solar panels were on satellites that went out there. And then space stations have solar power to power all their systems. Whoa! Unbelievable. Along with all the other technology and all the other technology on top of. But here on Earth, where we are, in theory, able now to put solar panels on the roof of most of our houses, depending on if you have trees giving you shade or not, and if the house is in the right direction. For so many people who can put solar panels on roofs of houses and collect this energy and then store it in a battery system and then utilize the power from a battery system to power the house, percentage of the house, this is incredible. This is absolutely something mankind should be proud of. How it is not being absorbed as a national emergency is what kills me. To me, this is a win-win-win scenario. Solar farms in Nevada and California, solar farms in other states are sucking up this free energy from the star that we seem to be circulating around all the time. There's more power from that than we could ever generate ourselves in any other format. And there it is. It's just there. We just have to absorb it and utilize it. Change everything. Why this isn't a national priority of every national government, I don't know, except for the fact that it is so cheap to drill a hole in the ground, relatively speaking, when you know there's oil down there, and you can bring this stuff up, refine it, and power up your SUV and go. And as long as we're prepared to accept the consequences of just burning this stuff up on an ongoing basis, then it will continue to be that way. And of course, if there's a buck to be made in taking insulin and charging $200 for insulin instead of $30, and there's a buck to be made to pull oil out of the ground for $10, $12, $15, $20 a barrel and turn it into an $80 a barrel and ultimately a $5 a gallon fuel, or whatever the price might be, there's a buck to be made. There will be those who will make those bucks. And those who make those bucks, of which there are millions and millions of people and thousands of corporations, they will then utilize some of those dollars to preserve the status quo. And that's where lobbyists come in. And so, welcome to the world in 2023, which is exactly like the world in 1983, which is exactly the world in 1963, 1953, 1933. There are lobbyists, those who have the ears of those in power, and those who have moral suasion with dollars to control and keep things just the way they are, making it all just fine for me, so it should be fine for you. And welcome to the party, pal. Here we are in 2023, in the middle of maybe a turnover, a changeover. I don't know. I hope it's going to keep going the right direction. I keep praying it will. Drug companies that cut prices of insulin, welcome to reality, because you were about to be legislated to be charging this much. Now you're doing it voluntarily. I don't understand why there aren't nonprofit drug companies out there making standard royalty-free drugs and just selling it at cost. I could imagine millions of Americans would become members of these co-ops to buy this product. And that would crush a ton of these pharmaceuticals that are ripping off Americans, Canadians, Europeans, and everybody else. They can claim all their research things and all the money we're spending on making new drugs. You can claim it all. Claim it all. But until you guys don't fly private jets to the Masters and to the Super Bowl and to the Kentucky Derby and to the Indianapolis 500, and you guys don't have all these villas and all these other lovely little things, I think you'd be shocked if you took a look at the board of directors of the top 100 pharmaceuticals and the top CEOs of these outfits, how wealthy they are. And it would shock you to no end, just shock you to no end. But hey, it's legal. It's legal. You're allowed to do it. And so there's nothing to see here. There's nothing to see here. let's just keep going. Anyway, thank you all for hanging around. Nice to see you this morning. Brian, number 100 thumbs up. Thank you very much. Maria, I bought back 12 GameStops yesterday at 210, 50% profit. Sold 4, 11 17s, 15s for 480 each. The other stink bids did not hit, so I'm happy. I can sell those today. I will sell those out of the money. Good move. Yes, good move. Extreme. Why were banks holding bonds knowing rates were increasing? They didn't think they'd go up as much as they did, and they didn't think their bonds would depreciate as much as they did. They were blind to the obvious. It got to make you wonder, doesn't it? It makes you wonder. That's a great question. That's what every regulator is asking. It's the wildest thing. We're 2 minutes away from opening up for the day, everybody. Welcome to the show. So great to have you here. Thank you for these thumbs ups, everybody. Appreciate this. Please become a member of this channel at ASAP. If you become a Gold Bagel member, the benefits keep growing and growing. As a Gold Bagel member of this channel, you can book a one-on-one consultation for $25 off every time you do one. As a Gold Bagel member, you can join me every morning at 8 in the morning for the Trade Alert show right here, Gold Bagel members only. As a Gold Bagel member, you get to join me on Wednesdays, 8 o'clock Eastern time for Prime Time with Uncle Bruce every Wednesday night. And we talk stocks and options and everything else. Gold Bagel members have privileges, and I welcome all of you who are becoming Gold Bagel members, those of you who have remained Gold Bagel members, and thank you to all of you who are members at whatever level you are, because in 2 days, we hit the 24-month mark of membership. March 16th is the day that I started offering memberships on this channel 2 years ago. That's day after tomorrow. And I thank you all so much for being part of this channel for all this time as members, let alone as lurkers. Larry Titus has done what Larry Titus does so well. And that is Larry has rung the bells. We are up, we are running, we're open, and we're trading. Welcome to the party, everybody. Great to have you here. We're back for another fun time as we get ready to rock and roll. And let's get this party started. I love it. Facebook is going to cut 10,000 further jobs and cancel 5,000 job postings. Latest news out of Facebook. That probably make the stock go up, I suppose. We'll see what happens. We've got the Dow up 322 points. S&P is up 48, and NASDAQ up 139. I'm just going to refresh my big-ass iPad to make sure it's absolutely up to speed. I'm showing GameStop at 1731, 1738. Nice to see that up 63 cents today. Putting a little bit of a premium on there for those of you trying to write options. There are some opportunities to bring some nice premiums in. Well done. 1731 on GameStop, 309 gain on the Dow, 51 on S&P, 177 gain on NASDAQ, and we're down $2 a barrel on oil. 72.71. Something tells me if we break $70, we might just do that. The United States government can now comfortably, anytime it wants, start buying oil on the open market to fill its national reserves back up. Its emergency reserves that Mr. Biden, President Biden, used to try to bring down the price of gasoline last year, the year before. Interesting, 72.71. That's an interesting price. All right, there it is. Welcome all. And it's great to see you here. Who cares says, I'm not a true original member, Uncle Bruce, but I'll be gold status for the long haul. Fantastic, guys. So many of you have joined me in the last 6 months, year. You found this channel through a friend, through fluke, through desperation. I don't know how you found me, but you found me. And I'm so glad you did. I know that for a number of you, it has changed your life completely. Your account performance for your brokerage account has completely turned around, and I couldn't be more thrilled for all of you on that. Get paid to be an investor, and let's go. Absolutely. Anyway, there it is. Nicely going, everybody. Welcome to the party, pals, and it's great to have you all here making some dough. And here we go. Maria saying, I plan to work on my numbers later today. I started with 600 shares of GameStop. I sold those and started with poor man covered calls. I now have 41 poor man covered calls. I've turned the original ones 3 times. Longs are down, George, but boy, 41 calls, and that is bringing in dough. There's a number of you who've been able to really build your poor man covered call inventories, and I'm excited for you. You're going to do very, very well. Thank you, Larry, for hitting the bells. People are saying, appreciate it. Great to have that come through again. We're up $2.96 there. GameStop up 52 cents to $17.27. First Republic Bank is at $50.14, up $18.93. SoFi $5.71, up 22 cents. Tesla's up $5.51 to $179.99. Apple $151.85, up $138. Unity Software up 83 cents to $28.69. HPQ up 57 cents, $27.91. ATIP is up 2 pennies to 31 cents. Google up 173 to 93.39. Moderna up 151 to 149.41. Cisco $48.72 is up 31 cents. Pfizer unchanged at the moment, as far as I can tell. It is trading at 39.86 at the moment. Okay, watch for that. IBM up 79 cents. Microsoft up 3.25. 23andMe is up 6.5. Matterport up 14. Cyxtera up 7. Rocket Lab up 6. SmartRent up a penny, and Spire is sitting at 80 cents, up a penny. Bed Bath Beyond down 2.8 cents. Amazon is up 51 cents. Home Depot up $1.09. Netflix up 260 to 296. Vanik up 384. Adobe 596 higher. Goldman 804 gain today. Boeing up 317. Facebook up $8.12 on the announcement of an additional whack of job cuts. But I can tell you, you cannot get larger by getting smaller. That is the end game of this whole thing. And sooner or later, this won't work for the stock. Sooner or later, the stock will reflect true revenue projections. And we'll see how this all works out. But for today, it's a positive vibe on the market. And Facebook is getting a positive vibe on top of the markets by announcing layoffs. AMC is down 8 cents on the commons. The prefs are up 6.8. Royal Caribbean up 138 to 65.58. Where else are we looking at here? Target up 147. JP Morgan up $1.50. Costco up $2. Walmart up 23 cents. Disney up 117. Nvidia up 5.76. American Airlines up 9 cents right now. Over at Goldman Sachs up 733 to 322.84. That's where I have the market at the moment. It has hit 325 this morning on the exchange so far, and we'll watch for that as we go forward. All right, back to the markets, the big boys. The Dow up 261, and over on S&P and NASDAQ. Let's get the updates over there as this is all coming through here. There we go. We've got a 53-point gain on S&P and a 178 gain on NASDAQ. Oil down 196 a barrel. At the moment. Let's see. Okay. The Bed Bath Beyond stock rises after retailer amends equity offering deal. The story is that they amended their deal that was announced last month. Let's see. Definition of facility 100 million. They're going to facilitate another $100 million of additional financing, which will give them a total of $460 million to date. They're making some technical moves here, giving them a little more wiggle room to get cash and pay off bills. Trying to get inventory in that store. Let's see what's going on. A manager 131 thumbs ups is what we have right now. All right, here we go. BP is saying on March 2nd, 2023, ATIP filed a petition in the Delaware court to increase the authorized shares of the company's stock from 200 million to 450 million. The court granted the motion to expedite and set a hearing date for the petition to be heard. The hearing has been set for the 17th. That's in 3 days. So we're waiting for that to come through. I have a feeling that earnings will come out after that. That's my hunch. on this. Home Skillet thinks that they're headed for the pink sheets. And that could well be. The shares might end up on the pink sheets. On the other hand, if they increase their authorized capital, they may also do a rollback and a financing all at the same time, and they might actually raise cash, do a 10-for-1 rollback, keep the stock on the New York Exchange, and away we go. If I know anything, I'll let you know. And when I see it, I'll tell you, but I don't know anything else. At the moment, ATIP is at 31 cents, up 2 cents this morning on 16,000. Nothing serious happening here. The shares have hit 32 so far this morning, but they're at 31 right now. That is what I see. That's what I know. And if I see anything else, you guys can tell me, let me know. 303-point gain on the Dow. GameStop up 53 to 1728 now. First Republic back to 46.60. There's volatility here. $5 up, $5 down, like no problem at all. Scary as get up. SoFi 571 up 22 cents. Tesla 181.42 now, up 693. A little bounce back. I don't know how much there's in it. It might be 181 to 185, and then we back down again. We might be now 175, 185. We might be 170, 190. Tesla is going to find its range and be in it for a while. We'll see how this goes. Apple up 175 now to 152.22. Unity 28.81 up 95 cents. Not Lurker anymore. Good morning. Number 99 says Lurker at the moment. Well, what do we got for thumbs ups this morning? I show 135. Thank you, everybody, for 135 thumbs ups to start this show off with. At this point, appreciate it. Keep those thumbs ups coming in, and we appreciate that very much. Welcome all to the party. It's great to have you all here. We've got a lot happening on this market. I expect pretty well an update today. You could call it a relief rally. You could call it a longer-term dead cat bounce, perhaps. But we have had a good week and a half, 2 weeks of shellacking on the big markets overall. And there is some pent-up dough looking to go somewhere cheap. There are bargains in some of the markets, not every single stock, but there are deals, and some of them are reacting positively. SoFi up 22 cents to 570 now. The volume on the session, 4.2 million. The low is 564, the high 574. We're at 570, right in the middle right now. GameStop 1724. The volume on GameStop this morning, 193,000 shares. Not heavy, but not dead quiet, but 193. That's what we have. Tesla 180.62 up 615. Apple 152.31 up 184. Unity up $1.06 now. $1 a share, 28.86. HPQ up 57 cents. Google up 244. Moderna up 219. Cisco up 41. Pfizer now up a dime. IBM up 21. Microsoft up 378. 23andMe is up 5.5. Matterport up 8.9 cents. Sixteris up 8. Rocket Lab is up 9 cents. SmartRent up 5. Spire is up 2.8 at 81.8. Amazon up 116. Home Depot up $1. Well, up 48 cents, I guess. We got gains pretty well everywhere across the board right now, with the Dow holding a 336 run at the moment, an up move at this point in time. DQ is saying that FRC is halted again. We'll follow that. It could be volatility. It could be an imbalance of buyer sells. It just goes around and around. Manager says, Uncle Bruce, should I write options on SoFi? No, do not write options on SoFi. No, not now, not yet. 1727 GameStop up 52 cents. FRC halted at 46.18 is where we were at, 46.18, and apparently there's a halt on the stock, up $14.97. And let's see what's going on here. Yeah, nothing there. And nothing there. I'm just looking for any announcements on the stock. Nothing from the company that I see or anything like that. At the moment, it's 46.18 last trade. The market cap on First Republic, 5.7 billion is what we see there, and we're just going to see and watch for that, see what gives, if it's coming back up, and what's it going to do. Okay, there we go. There we are. Nope, there we are right there. Let's see if I can get this to work. Used to be so much easier. It's not that easy anymore. There it is. Okay, got it over there. Trading halted on FRB, First Republic Bank. Okay, I'll watch for that and see what's going on. All right. Thank you for the alert on that one, manager. Thank you. And DQ, thank you. DQ, I have some SVIB shares. What happens to those? I don't think anything good happens to those. Can't say. You'll be alerted eventually. 303 gain on the Dow, 57 on S&P, 209 on NASDAQ at the moment. And GameStop is 1722, up 47 now. SoFi 568, up 19. Tesla 180.77, up 629. All right, there you go. Tons and tons going on. 142 gain on the thumbs up meter. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. There, DQ is thinking they'll probably go to zero. I suspect you're right. See what happens with that. Nothing on FRC yet. Waiting for it to be brought back up. Alrighty, folks. Welcome to the party, everybody. Good to have you here. Thank you for joining me. Let's see. I'll do that. And okay. Alrighty. March 28th is the indicated ATIP earnings report, 14 days from now. I got an email on that. If anyone can confirm that, let me know. But that's what it sounds like. That's 2 weeks from now. Next week, GameStop comes up with their earnings. Okay. And manager, I bought 400 FRC just before the halt for Adrenaline Rush. If it goes up, you know what I will do? Dump it. If not, I'm going to buy some more. Fear of missing out. Karim, yeah, those are now worthless. Those SVIB were. DQ, I just want to know how they play out for taxes. I'm guessing they book as 100% loss. Probably. Yeah, they'll book as 100%. Definitely. We're open again on FRC, I think, 43.50. If I'm not mistaken, I think we're trading 42.74. I think we're trading now again on First Republic. $44, climbing a little bit. 44.82, 44.68. FRC, the volume was 26 million a few minutes ago, 45.06. Looks like it's going higher. And watch for that. 44.49 at the moment. Alrighty. Salesforce, American Express share gains. They're gaining the most on the 300-point rally for the Dow. And 44.73 now on First Republic. 45 bucks. Okay. Whoo-wee. Tons going on here, kids. Oh, what a session. So much happening. Rocket Lab is up 8.5. SoFi is at 567, up 18. GameStop up 41 right now. AMC commons are down 6. Preferreds are up 9. Matterport up 9.8 cents. 23andMe up 3. Spire's up 2.5. ATIP is at 31 cents. Smart Rent up a nickel. Sixter up 7.5. Apple up $2. Goldman up $8. Cisco up 32 cents. Tesla up 640. Arc Innovations up 122. Microsoft up 397. Pfizer up a nickel. Hewlett Packard up 61 cents. Google up 254, Amazon up $1.08, Nvidia up 880, and Unity up 96 cents. So we got green all over the board here on a whole bunch of the stocks that we're following right now. And the FRC shares 45.61 now. They've come back off. I'm telling you, folks, it's almost impossible for me to give you second by second blows here. 45.51. I'm sure my quotes are well behind the mark. Alrighty. Coyote Credit Savage. I got a few hundred FRC at 24, and I wrote, I believe, $50 strikes for $20. Splayer, Uncle Bruce, do you think this can be the start of 1 to 3 day movement before we drop again like usual? My friend, I can't tell you that. We don't believe there are any bank crises anymore coming. I'm sure regulators have been inside every bank's books with their accountants to double check. But I'm assuming that. I can't guarantee it. I'm assuming that's what's going on. How it's going to react in the market. The market is free to react any way it wants, and it's all emotion. And it's now an emotional trade, what people think is going to happen in 6 months to a year from now. So 351 gain on the Dow. People are thinking positive, aren't they? For the moment, that's what they're doing. We'll see how this, if this holds and continues on. Nick saying, Uncle Bruce, I bought back my Unity calls yesterday, and I got lucky that my stink bids didn't hit. Should I wait a day or two for this rally to run a little before I try to sell calls again? You've had a $3 run since yesterday morning. If you can write an out-of-the-money call for a fat premium, I'd do it. But that's me. You have to be comfortable. Look, if you write a 30 and you get a fat premium on it and it goes to 32, what do you care? You'll buy them back and write 35s. You'll do that. So enjoy. Yes, take money in and let's see what happens. That's my thinking. Not a lurker. FRC back up. It's 46.36. Halted again, says DQ. It is a casino, but you have to be in it to win it. Not a lurker. Go Coyote, not a lurker already. Wow, manager, halted again on the stock. It was rising and it got halted. Swear, depending on the news, but we all know tomorrow another company can suddenly come up with new problems. Yes, of course. That's the thing, my friend. But the higher the market reacts today, the less likely there's problems tomorrow because people are richer. Companies are richer. Entities are richer. Funds are richer. The higher the market goes, everyone's richer. Fewer problems. Anyway, Nick, always be writing. Right, got it. Yes, boom, there you go. Manager, me thinks I will make some money from my coffee and bagel today. There you go, my friend. By all means, grab the dough. We're at 1708 on GameStop. The high of the day today looks like 1741. The low 17. We're at 17 right now on GameStop at the low of the session at the moment. That's where we're at right now. Okay. Welcome to the party, pal. We're a 310-point gain on the Dow, and GameStop is at $17 a share. There you go. S&P 57.92 gain. NASDAQ 202-point gain. That's 1.8% for NASDAQ. 1.5% gain for S&P. The Dow is up 0.98. Only 0.98. Interesting. Oil down 137 and improving just a little at 73.43. All right. Let's see what else is going on here. Welcome to fun, everybody. Nice to have you here. All righty. Thank you all for reaching out and keeping in touch with me. And let's keep this party going. I've got the Dow up 310 right now. At the moment. Let's see here. Barron's headline just coming across. Bank of America has the biggest losses in bond portfolio among its peers. The Bank of America, like other banks, invests in treasury securities and mortgage-backed securities in addition to making loans. Banks have seen the value of these bond portfolios decline in value as interest rates have risen since the start of 2022. Bond prices fall when interest rates rise. Bank of America had $862 billion of debt securities on its balance sheet, totaling roughly $3 trillion at the end of 2022. Of that, $632 billion of bonds, mostly federal agency mortgage securities, were classified to be as held to maturity for accounting purposes. Banks don't have to record losses to changes in those securities values, cutting their capital, unless the debt is sold. Still, holdings in that bucket, which carry minimal or no credit risk, were nonetheless showing a loss of about $107 billion at the end of 22 due to the rise of interest rates. This compares with losses of $36 billion for a similarly declassified bond portfolio at JP Morgan, $41 billion for Wells Fargo, $25 billion at Citigroup, and just $1 billion at Goldman Sachs, based on each company's 10-K filings with the SEC. And attention to banks' bond losses has increased since regulators seized Silicon Valley Bank on Friday. The lender's parent had a $15 billion unrealized loss on its $91 billion held-to-maturity bond portfolio. That was equivalent to nearly all of its $16 billion of tangible capital, and there's the problem. Banks also classify their holdings of debt and other securities under another accounting treatment called available for sale. Any losses on these securities must be reflected in capital levels and reduce capital, even if the debt isn't sold. Bank of America had $221 billion of bonds classified under this accounting treatment, and that bucket showed a loss of about $4 billion at the end of 2022. Bank stocks were down again Monday after getting hit last week. There you go. Let's see. Bank of America, like other big banks, has an enormous amount of liquidity and faces no pressure to sell any of its held-to-maturity bond portfolio and realize losses. Bank of America ended 2022 with $1.9 trillion of deposits, including about $1.4 trillion of retail deposits, which tend to remain at a given bank given the hassle involved in moving them. The Federal Reserve is also providing a backstop to banks in the form of loans if they need them. The company had no comment on how it's doing. Anyway, there you go. It only makes sense. If you're the largest bank, you're going to have the largest position in entities. You're going to have the largest position in bonds. You're going to have the largest position in deposits. You're going to have the largest number of customers. You're the biggest bank. What do you expect? But they're incredibly liquid, and they're quite solid, and they're backed by the United States of America. And so there are no issues there. $16.99 on GameStop, $16.96 on GameStop. New lows are being set right now on GameStop. $45.73, $45.70, $45.83 on First Republic Bank. Looks like it's continuing to move along, holding this 45, 46 level at the moment. Okay, let's see. FRC has resumed. That is exactly right. 45.78 last trade now on that one. 560 on SoFi, up 11 cents. 558 up a dime. Tesla 179.47. Apple 152.15, and Unity up 20 cents at 28.06. Always be writing. There you go. All right. There's the story as we see it here. We now have 150 thumbs ups coming through here. Thank you, everybody, for that. Only 50 away from 200. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. 45.66, 45.73 on First Republic, holding a gain at this point in time. And someone has just arrived.
Hello.
Auntie Jen, how are you this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
I am alive. I'm as well as can be expected. Yeah, I'm alive. Yes.
You're sounding a little more cloggy.
I am. I think I am a little cloggy
You know
today.
what it is?
No.
I think it's those yellow flowers.
Oh,
We've
more
got a new flower that's out.
new plants. Well, we
Yeah.
have.
They're budding.
We're about to get a gazillion flowers.
Yeah.
Flowering
always
in the
have
desert
flowers, but-
because of the rain we
Yeah.
had, all the moisture we got.
Yeah.
The desert is
Just
about to
wildflowers.
explode. The pollen counts are going to go nuts.
You'll be seeing lots of pictures on
Mm.
people's feet. Everybody taking their camera up to the high desert.
Definitely, the desert is going to be just blown away by how amazing this is going to be.
That's right.
Good morning, Jen from Splair. Good morning. Guten Tag. John Anderson here. Good morning, Jen from John Anderson.
Good morning, John.
287 gain on the Dow. 1694 is where we're at on GameStop now. Near its low of the session of 1692. There we are.
They came out with their inflation numbers today.
Yeah, they were in line,
Yeah.
slightly lower.
They're happy.
The regional banks that have been getting shellacked lately are all up nicely this morning.
Yeah.
Because it looks like the crisis is over. There doesn't seem to be another bank in trouble.
Right.
All that is calming down
People
now.
realized it's fine.
And so there's money coming in on bargoons here. I wonder about some of the largest hedge funds that might be moving in and buying up gobs of banks at super cheap prices.
Well, they are, right? It's
Yeah.
super cheap.
So there's some real opportunities here to pick up some bargoons. SoFi is up today to, it was up today at 1.690, no, not 690, pardon me, 580 or so. We're 563 right now. The high today, 574. Think about the pre-market. SoFi, 563 up 14 cents right now. Just under 6 million traded on SoFi right now. So way to go, SoFi. The Dow's up 304, S&P up 57, NASDAQ up 200. We've been up all morning on the pre-markets in anticipation of a bounce up after days and days of sell-offs. We were due for a turnaround. Good morning, Auntie Jen from Flint Creek Soap Company.
Good
Wing
morning,
Commander. I am so jealous right now. I have seen pictures of the blooming desert in the past, never imagined to witness it myself. Financial mischief. Okay, GameStop. I'm all for you going down, but you could have at least let me roll my 15s out to November so I could lock in 20 assignment while I wait for the buyback. Yeah, jerk. Yeah. There you go. Sometimes some of us are greedy and are looking for too much, but hey, what can I say?
Sometimes the market just doesn't do what you want it to do.
And yet GameStop is backing off for you right now. What more do you want? It's backing off while the market is going up. It's doing everything it can. Larry Titus, good morning. Jen from Lair.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Titus. How you doing there, pal? There you have it. We are hanging in there. Oil is down $1.40. It was down $2 again this morning. Falling off.
So what is it at right now?
73.30. It was down to 72 something this morning.
I think
it was 80 last week.
I think her new budget had it pegged to 77 or something.
Yeah, I don't know. The Alberta government desperately tries to predict the price of oil for the next year. Never gets it right.
I think they blindfold themselves, turn around, and they throw backwards with
darts. Yeah, it's so silly.
Good luck.
But at oil at 72 a barrel, 76 a barrel, $80 a barrel, Alberta is just cleaning up, making all kinds of money.
Yeah.
The natural gas prices, though, is where Alberta makes its most money. The royalties from natural gas outdo oil, but the province's finances are in much better shape than they were 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
You can't compare the difference. It's incredible.
Last year was the turnaround year for that government's budget.
Big time turnaround. So so that's the story.
Just rolling in bills.
Rolling in the money. Boom to bust all the time.
All the time. Feast or famine.
Feast or famine in Alberta.
That's how she works.
No matter what the government tries to do to get around it.
The bumper stickers that said, please give us another boom. I promise not to piss it away this time.
We saw those in 77. 78 we saw those.
They bring them out every time.
They still exist.
Please give us another boom.
Craziness.
So how are you this morning? You had a good sleep and all that?
Oh, yeah, the alarm had to wake me up.
I know this is the second day. It's
because
a hard one.
It's I've lost an hour. I'm getting up at 2:30 instead of 3:30 actually.
No, don't.
Yes, I am.
No, don't
yes, I am. Getting up at 2:30 now.
Don't think that.
God dang it.
How do people in Hawaii do it?
Oh my God,
I don't know.
I don't know what to think. Yeah, you got see if you move to Hawaii, what you want to do is you want to work for a company that's based. Don't you want a company that's based maybe in Asia?
Yeah, you want to follow the Asian markets,
right?
Yeah.
So if you work in New York, you want to work for an LA-based company because you're ahead of them, right? If you're in Europe, you want to trade on the market that starts at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock your time in the afternoon. I mean, that's the way to do it. Yeah. But if you're in Hawaii, if you're working for a New York-based company and you're in Hawaii, it's not good. It's not good. No.
It's a hardship.
It can't be good. No. But hey, I don't know.
Maybe they like being awake. They're vampires. They're awake at night. That's what it is.
That's what it is, though, man.
What they do in the shadows.
What they do over there, those Hawaiians, I have no idea. Hello, Hawaiians. How are you? Hope everything is going well, Hawaii.
Yeah.
With all the love from California via Calgary, we say hi.
We've never been to Hawaii. All the places
Nope.
we've ever been.
We've never been to Hawaii of all the places.
But Cayman's on the same latitude.
Yeah.
So
same weather.
Same weather. But I hear their flowers smell pretty.
Oh, and Hawaii's got hills. And
oh yeah.
Of course,
yeah,
volcanoes.
Of course volcanoes. Yeah.
Cayman, the highest point on the island, is 40 feet above sea level.
Well, not now. Now they have the trash mountain.
Oh well, that's true. They've got. Is that what they call
no,
that?
they called it.
What do they call that?
Yeah.
What's
Mount Trashmore.
Mount Trashmore. That's right. The story back in the day when we lived in the Cayman Islands, they used to incinerate the garbage, burn it. They had incinerators.
Before that, they used to just dump it.
But the incinerators were producing electricity. They were burning garbage to produce heat, which was used to probably boil up some sort of liquid in a container, producing electricity is what it was. And so the justification was, well, yeah, we burn our garbage, but we make electricity from it that powers the island, you see. But then they did the measurements of the pollutants going up into the sky, and they went, well, we're not compliant with world environmental standards. No. And we, being the Cayman Islands, we've got to be, just as clean as Switzerland. So we've got to find a better way. Well, the better way was a temporary solution was, well, we'll just ship our garbage away. And that's what they literally put the garbage on barges, sent the barges to Honduras, Guatemala, Jamaica, and bought paid landowners to take Cayman garbage off by crane onto trucks and dump it in a landfill. So the garbage is gone. We're not burning any garbage. The Cayman Islands are saying it's not a problem. We're not creating problems. And then in Honduras and these other countries and Jamaica, they're going, wait a minute. This garbage is in a landfill. It rains here all the time, tropical rain, and all this crap seeps out of these landfills into our water system. And it's garbage from, of all other places, the Cayman Islands. What's this? Oh, no. We're not accepting that anymore. So then the next solution was, we'll just load it up on barges, and then we'll open up the bottom of the barge and let the garbage go down into the sea. Because it goes down 3,000 feet, 1,000 feet. It biodegrades. There'll be no issues. But then somebody came up and said, that there was our toxins in there and all the paint on the packaging and plastics. You can't do that. Oh, we can't do that. So now what are we going to do? Well, we'll come up with a solution. We'll study it. We'll put a blue ribbon panel together.
A royal commission.
In the meantime, let's just store it over here on this big vacant bunch of land we have, and we'll figure it out. And then the garbage started piling up and piling up.
Yeah.
This is decades.
Coming in on the cruise ship, we're like, what is that?
So now occasionally, a cruise ship or two will come into Cayman and see black smoke rising from the top of a hill. And people going, is that a volcano? Does Cayman have a volcano? Is it acting up again? No, it's Mount Trashmore is what that is. This has got its own unique name. And the thing about the winds in the Cayman Islands is they're predominantly known as westerlies. The wind heads west all the time. And the Mount Trashmore is on the eastern end of downtown and the airport. The smoke goes up and then blows over downtown and over the cruise ships and overhead of the passengers. You can't miss it. You can't not smell it. You can't not see it. It makes for a wonderful postcard of how wonderful it is in the Cayman.
There's a hill. Where's that hill come from?
Where's that hill come from? Why is it so high? It's not a hill anymore. This is not 300 feet. It's like a 40-story building in the. What's that? It's the tallest structure on the island. Mount Trashmore.
Maybe they're just waiting for a hurricane, and then they can say it's force majeure. It's just God's will.
God took it away. God took it away.
Sent it to those godless Cubans.
Yeah, it just went up, and God just made it go away. No, it's not going away. And now
Oh.
they have seepage problems from Mount Trashmore.
No.
It rains in the Cayman Islands too. And the water seeps through all the garbage and comes out the bottom, and now it's leaking into the water table of the Cayman Islands.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yes, now the island has its own unique garbage problem. Nobody wants its
No
garbage.
politician wants to spend money.
No politician can spend the money
Yeah.
without Parliament passing it.
Yes.
And they're asking themselves, how are we going to get rid of this garbage? What are we going to do? Do we shred it? Do we compact it? We don't have any mine shafts to put it down into. Like, what are we doing with this? It's just building this wonderful mountain.
Yeah.
Going to be one of the biggest tourist draws, a 10,000-foot mountain of garbage on this island
Yeah.
of wealth and privilege. You gotta wonder.
It's a tough one to get them into recycling. Tourists aren't really good at that.
Mm. No.
Not really good at recycling. Yeah. But the same happens with Canada. We used to ship our out of Calgary. We used to ship our water bottles, get recycled. They get pushed into large cubes, and then we sell them. And we would sell them to companies in China who take them and put
Dump
them down
them into the sea.
Well, the idea was that they would reheat them down to their polymers and then make a new plastic thing, but they don't. It turns out they don't.
Investigative reporters
Yeah.
followed these shipments to the Philippines, Indonesia, and China, where they were supposed to go.
Yeah.
And they found that they indeed would land in various ports. The goods would be taken off these ships and then would be put onto other vessels. Some were sea-going, some were land-going, and the thinking was they were supposed to go to recycling centers.
Yeah.
There are no recycling centers.
Well, I'm sure there are, but not all of them.
The world's garbage
So, yeah.
is overwhelming these places, and so
Recycling is expensive.
they would just quietly put these big blobs of plastic onto ships, go out into the middle of the night, 25 miles offshore, dump them into the sea, and no one would see them again until the National Geographic folks are
Yeah.
doing studies of the oceans and are finding all these particles of plastic everywhere. Where is it coming from? And where is it? Well, look at this. Here's a bottle printed in Canada is where the label says.
Yeah.
Canadian printed label on a plastic bottle. Put two and two together. Where is this bottle sold? Oh, it's sold in Calgary, Alberta, Vancouver, Regina, Toronto. It's coming. And then, there's bottles from Seattle. Here's bottles from Denver. Here are bottles from Los Angeles. Here are bottles from everywhere. And they're just dumped. There's no tracking. There's no accountability. Why can't you recycle this stuff in North America? Why is that?
Well, I have to give kudos to Halifax, Calgary, Vancouver. These cities do a really have committed money to doing recycling, because recycling is very expensive.
Indeed, it is.
But we even recycle, to use the brand name Styrofoam. We can even recycle Styrofoam just outside of Calgary, which is a tough one. Styrofoam's tough. The toughest one, which sounds so crazy to me, is glass.
Yeah.
It's really, but glass is like the first thing we ever recycled. It was one of the first things humans made.
I remember as a child in 1965, 64, definitely 50, 65, going to my father's music store with my dad every second week, and in the bathroom would be 25 bottles, 12-ounce Coca-Cola bottles. You took them back to the tobacco store across the street where my dad bought his smokes.
Yeah.
And you give the bottle to the guy. He said, just put them in there. How many you got? 3? Okay, I get 6 cents. Cash money. I had 6 cents. As a kid, that was a fortune. I could buy a chocolate bar for a dime. I needed 5 empties to get an O. Henry bar. Those are the good old days.
Well,
and those bottles were recycled.
We recycle our liquor bottles and our Coca-Cola bottles. But if you have a jar, no one wants the jar. And if you've broken it, nobody wants your broken glass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We are halfway there and halfway nowhere. And it is
There's some easy things that are still able to be done.
And reality really should be should we be able to buy bottles of water that are 12 ounces in size each? No.
Yeah.
We shouldn't even be selling them in those containers.
No,
We should
not
be
plastic.
selling bottles of 2 liters in a glass bottle with a handle on it, a glass handle on it, and recycle and reuse those.
Yeah.
But we don't do that. We're so convenient. And
Well, the other problem with glass is it's heavy.
well,
Glass is heavy
of
compared
course,
to plastic.
of course. There's no easy solution. It's just a mess. Anyway, we digress. Welcome to the show, the
Okay,
channel.
I'm gonna go do some exercise.
Someone is going to do exercises for her hip
Yes.
because it's just getting better and better.
It is. It is.
Penny
I heard
almost
on the
went down.
radio this morning a study that they've just done where they're talking about how if you have a leg or an arm, a hand in a cast, you know how they take that cast off 6 weeks later and your leg is withered and looks horrible in your hand
Yeah.
and stuff. This study shows that if you work the other limb, it helps the one in the cast stay fit. That by working the messages that are sent to the one arm also kind of go to the other arm. That lengthening exercises seem to help that arm.
Do you guys get the impression that you're in the wrong business? That you should be hired by study groups
Oh, I
to be
want
a
to
study
do a Royal
group?
Commission. Yes, I want my own Royal Commission.
Wouldn't it be great
Absolutely.
if you could be, you could be,
5 years?
the head of a study group of 20 people, get paid $200,000 a year for the next 5 years
Yeah.
to study the effect of I don't know what on what. Wouldn't that
I could do it.
that's the business to be
I'm
in?
available.
I tell you,
I've always wanted to have my own Royal Commission.
yeah.
Because so often Royal Commissions seem really obvious to me. It's like, okay, the first week, okay, we're done, right? Okay. Come back in
It's kind of
5
like
years and
it's kind of like
tell people.
Ghostbusters. At the beginning of the Ghostbusters movie, you got Bill Murray, you got the pretty girl, you got the goofy guy. He puts electrodes on both of their
He spits his
hands,
gum out.
and then he holds up a card and says, "What's the shape that's on this card?" And the girl guesses it's a square, and he looks at it, it's a circle. He goes, "Correct," and he puts it back down, and she's great. Then he goes to the guy and he says, "What's on this card?" And he goes, "It's a circle," and he looks at it. It is a circle. He goes, "Oh, sorry." And the guy asks him, "Why are you doing this?" He says, "I'm studying the effect of negative reinforcement on the psychological being of the patient." He goes, "I'll tell you what the effect is. It's pissing me off." I'm thinking that is a 5-year study,
There you go.
$1 million a year for the professor,
Hey, it's a
and
PhD
lots
thesis.
of
Fine.
dates with hot chicks. I think this is the gig I want. I want that Bill Murray
I
gig.
want that gig.
I want that gig.
Yeah.
Find ghosts.
Go Rockman.
Find ghosts on the side. Go Rugman. Man. Good morning, everybody. Thank you all for being here. Oh, man. Anyway, not greedy, Uncle Bruce. I was just rolling up a strike, bringing in $800 in premium after the buyback. Don't forget, I'm rolling out of my eye in the money rights. So this would be a win-win in any case. Right on, buddy. People in Hawaii only trade futures. Dean, how do they do it? They live in Hawaii. How do they do it? Alex, ATIP earnings on Thursday after the bell, says Alex. So there's another indicator what's going on. Bobby, daylight savings reset hack. Early day drinking until you fall asleep. Passed out at 6:30 Sunday. Jumped out of bed like normal on Monday. Coyote, wow, nature is beautiful. Bobby, Canada sold its garbage to the south as well. Now they want us to take it back. Bobby, that's no moon. It's a trash mountain. Cindy, stop buying plastics. I remember getting 2 cents a bottle. Remember those days? It's probably hard to find for everything the right solution. Same with recycling. Bobby, I'm old enough to do bottle collecting for school trips. My parents don't do handouts. Earn your fun. There you go. I remember. I remember as a kid, you found an empty bottle on the side of a sidewalk. Oh, that was a win. You'd pick it up. It'd be like a 2 cents. 5 cents. I remember when bottles went to a dime and aluminum cans went to a nickel. Oh, this is huge. Oh, wow. Today in downtown Calgary, you have a tough time finding empties anywhere in downtown Calgary. I would say within 20 blocks of downtown Calgary, any direction, you will not find empties lying on the side of anywhere because they're worth money. And a lot of people pick up empties as a habit, as a hobby, and then there are those who pick it up as a necessity. There are folks in Calgary who have substance issue problems that pick up empties for a living. And you go to these bottle depots that are licensed in Alberta because you can't just take it to your local store anymore. You have to go to bottle centers, recycle centers. You go to these recycling centers and you will see these quasi-homeless individuals with huge garbage bags full of empties every afternoon. And they are cashing in 15, 20, 30 bucks every day in cash to continue their existence in a pretty rough life. Amazing, but there are no empties anywhere. You put a value on it and you can't find any of it lying around. Alex, Uncle Bruce, I got an email from Investor Relations. So Thursday is a definite. The mystery is finally solved. Thursday for ATIP. Okay, so that is day after tomorrow, the 16th. Okay, so that seems to be the story. That is the day before the court thing, so kind of weird. Cindy B, we have 10-cent deposits. I know that on the 2-liter plastic bottles, it's now 20 cents. In Alberta, I think it's 25 cents. You can't find any of those anywhere. 25 cents a bottle. I think the cans are a dime. They're now a dime. So a 12-pack cans, you pay $1.20 in recycling fees to buy them. That's how you don't have any lying around anywhere. A splitter in Germany, most of the bottles in aluminum cans are worth 25 euros or cents. Half bread costs between 1.5 and 2.5, by the way. So you can buy bread with some empties. Yes, splitter, you can still find them everywhere, apparently. Unbelievable. Well, Alberta, most of Alberta you can't because they're too expensive to ignore. But in Arizona, they don't have recycling, I don't believe, and they're everywhere. They're littered on the side of the highways, littered on the side of the roadways, beer bottles everywhere. It's really unfortunate. You drive from Buckeye into Phoenix and back, or Glendale and back, empties everywhere. Just out in the sun, and what can I say? It is what it is. People, if you don't put a value on them, people feel that they're worthless. And so they treat them like that. And there you go. It is what it is. Dow Jones up 340 points. We're up 60 on the S&P, up 199 on NASDAQ. We've got a gain going today. Definitely a gain happening and still holding. We've got GameStop up 12 cents at 16.87. We did have a lower low. By the way, SoFi now 559, 560 up 11 cents. GameStop today, the high and low has been 1667 is the low of the day. Down was actually down 8 cents on the session. We're now at 1687, up 12 cents. The high today 1741. That is GameStop. 425,000 shares traded roughly. Let's see what else is going on here. Brian is saying this funding report was delayed because they met with the SEC and they told him to hold off. Can't make this stuff up. There you go. That's the story. What else is up here or going on? 45.58 on First Republic Bank. Just hanging around now, this 45-46 range. SoFi now 561. Tesla 180.41 up 593. Apple is up 195 to 152.42. Look at the Unity software. 27.78 down 8 cents. What a range today. HBQ 27.98 up 65, 28 bucks on HBQ. ATIP 29.6 now, only up 0.6 of a penny on 21,000 shares. There you go. That's ATIP. Google 94.28 up 262. Moderna is up 412 at 152.02. Cisco is up 40. Pfizer up 15. IBM up 34. Microsoft is at by 362. ME is now off 1 penny. Matterport is up 4. Cyxtera up 4.5. Rocket Lab holding a 1.8 cent gain. SmartRent up 3. Spire up 6.5 cents to 85.5. Bed Bath Beyond up down 3 pennies at 121. Amazon up 110. Home Depot down 41 cents. Netflix up just 82 cents. Vanik is up 628. Adobe up 880. Goldman up 829, holding a pretty good gain today. Goldman Sachs. All right. Let's see what else is going on. Hawkeye, my GameStop stink bids hit. I thank the Academy, and I will thank crossing my arms for that. How about that? Well done. Hopefully cashing in some lovely dollars. Lovely stuff. 395 gain on the Dow. We're pushing 400 on the session. We're up 400 right now. 67-point gain on S&P. NASDAQ up 221. That's 1.98% for NASDAQ, 1.77 for S&P, and 1.25 for the Dow. That is what's going on. GameStop 16.90.91, up 16 cents. First Republic, $46 a share. SoFi, $5.63, up 14 cents, climbing again. Tesla, $181.34, climbing again. Apple, up 218, coming up. And Unity just went green, up 5. Isn't it fun how this market reacts? Isn't that amazing? 46.38 on First Republic, up 15.17 at the moment. Interesting stuff. What's happening here, to say the least. All right, there you go. We got 167 thumbs ups. Thank you, everybody. 33 to go to get to 200 today. And we got 10 minutes to go in this show. If we can get 33 thumbs ups in the next 10 minutes, we got 200 thumbs ups. Thank you, everybody, for helping out. If you can find that thumbs up button somewhere, nail it for us and give us a little more momentum. We do appreciate it. Thank you all for joining me. If any of you are interested in a one-on-one session during market hours, do let me know, and we'll schedule you in for a one-on-one today or tomorrow or Friday, whatever. Give me a heads up and we'll set you up. Thank you all for following today, all of our shenanigans and what's happening here. Lots of activity, to say the least. 45.96 on First Republic. Up 14.75, kind of holding its own right now. All right. Thank you all, and congratulations on making money. 16.93 on GameStop now, 16.94, up 19. 46.03 on First Republic. SoFi 5.62, up 14. Tesla 181.16, and Apple 152.77. All right. Michael Burry says that U.S. banking crisis has been resolved very quickly. I don't see any danger here. Interesting. And he sometimes is a bit of a doomer and gloomer himself, but he's got it right. He's got it right. And just in case you missed it, I'm missing everyone here today already. An enjoyable day. Enjoyable. I hope everybody's doing fine. Thank you, Spirit. You have a wonderful day yourself. Thank you for popping in today. 390 gain on the Dow at the moment, holding that gain rather nicely. It looks like First Republic wants to go to 47 now, another dollar, a little better yet. But there seems to be resistance in that 50 range. It doesn't seem to be able to break through the 50 range and hold it. So there's a bit of this resistance here and there. That is what the way it is right now on First Republic. All righty. Yeah, Rocket Lab holding 3.5 cents. SoFi 16 cents. It's 5.65 today. Last trade. Just hanging on and holding a little gain. Would be nice to see this go to 5.80 to $6. That would be even more lovely. GameStop 16.93.94 right now on GameStop. Okay. Interesting stuff. The shareholder vote is today on at AMC. I guess the court case didn't stop the vote from happening to basically turn AMC pref shares into common shares. So those APE shares will become, I guess, commons. I'm assuming here. Now, does that mean that the commons will fall down and the prefs will come up? I don't know how this is going to work out. This is a mess. But it means that AMC's, let's say, total outstanding stock will now be over $1 billion. Will be over 1,050,000,000 maybe. A major league dilution of common shares. Perhaps putting the common shares into the $253 level. I guess the winners are the pref shareholders. They might have a stock worth $250 from $180. But on the other hand, the whole thing might turn out that all the shares are going to trade at $180 to $2, and that the losers are the common shareholders. They're just going to be really destroyed by 60% value depreciation. I don't know. With $1 billion outstanding, a company needs to raise money, and they're going to have to now issue 500 million more. And if they could get $3, that would be $1.5 billion in fresh cash for AMC. That could eliminate a bunch of debt, but that would now mean 1.5 billion shares outstanding on AMC. That's called a yuck scenario, as far as I can tell. Anyway, that's all I know. Matterport up 7.5 cents. 23andMe up 2.5, Spire up 7.5 to 86.5, ATIP 29.25 last trade, just barely up a quarter of a penny. Smart Rent up 6, Stairs up 6 cents, Apple up 2.19, Goldman up 8.51 now. Cisco up 37, Tesla's up $7, 181 now. ARC up 102, Microsoft up 388, Bed Bath Beyond down 6 cents. Pfizer up 6 cents, HPQ up 73, Alphabet up 285, Amazon up 186, Nvidia up 10.50, and Unity up 35 cents. We've got a lot of volatility in a bunch of these stocks today, to say the least. A ton of it. Over at First Republic, 46.78. Looks like the halts have been taken care of, and we're now free trading again. It looks like we've gone through some trading halts, but we seem to be okay. 1698 on GameStop, trying to go back to 17. The Dow's up 401 points, climbing. SoFi 566 climbing, up 18 cents on SoFi, trying to come back a little higher at the moment. That is what I show over here. And Financial Mischief says, Uncle, I just closed out a few of those SoFi Jan 24 rights yesterday. I locked in about 350 in profit. I closed my position when SoFi was at 512. Waiting to write again now. There you go. Right on. 750. So those are the ones that I bought back. Way to go. Scoop them back and sit back and see if you can rewrite them if the shares want to go through $6, 6.5, 6.75. Boom. Maybe you can get a 125 or more for those 750s again, or more. Let's see what they want to give us. Go SoFi, go. I say go. Nick says, way to go there in Financial Mischief. Well done. I know a bunch of you wrote those calls. You brought in 130, 135, 139. Well done. And if you're picking them back off, way to go. It's all been good. Some of you, of course, grabbed the cash, bought more stock, wrote more calls. Beautiful job. Absolutely. You've increased your holdings by 25%. Nicely done. This is the long-term winner here, and nothing wrong with that move. You brought your averages down, I hope. $17 a share on GameStop, kids. We're back to $17. The low on GameStop today, $16.67. So a 33-cent improvement. Looks like 17.02 is what we're sitting at now on GameStop. A little bit higher. For some of you out there, what you're looking for is a higher move on the stocks. You can write calls, bring in big bucks. Yes, absolutely consider that. Well done, each and every one of you. We are now at 178 thumbs ups. Thank you, everybody. Only 22 more to get to hit 200. I am pretty sure the rerunners will put us there. Thank you, everybody, for stepping in with some thumbs ups today to get us to this level already. We love getting 200 thumbs ups in the morning shows. You guys are awesome. I thank you so very much. I'm going to shut her down here and do some more research on what's going on. Got a bunch of emails to address here this morning. Thank you, everybody, for being with me today. Keep on writing. Never fear the upside. And get yourselves in a nice position to write calls, buy deep in the money calls, write more calls, and so on and so on, and become richer. Thank those option traders for all those gains they've been giving you. Just one gain after another after another. We're at 48.50, 48.80 on First Republic. It's trying to break through 50 again on another run up. Good to see that. I see volume on First Republic now of 41 million traded. And we've got SoFi now at 566, trying to get back to 560. And Tesla just under 181. GameStop 1702, trying to move a little bit higher. So we have a definite positive move going on here. Money coming into the market. And that allows you guys to go, hey, that's all right. You want to take a shot? I'll do rollovers. This is fine. I got options to write. Thank you. Take the dough. Thanks, AJ. Thank you. Neat from DQ. See you tomorrow, says Mirko. Alex, thanks, Uncle B. John Anderson, thanks, everybody. Splair, thanks for the show, everybody. Hector, Uncle, I sent you an email to join Discord. Thank you. Splair, neat. And Splair again. Hector, neat. Here come the knee emojis. Thanks all for joining in. John Anderson, neat. 181 thumbs ups. I need 19 more. Hit those knee emojis and hit those thumbs ups at the same time. Thank you all very much for helping us out. Appreciate it. Here's some knee emojis to chew on. Neat. And thank you for the thumbs ups. 181 and counting on the thumbs ups meter. Hope my postcard comes today, says Flint Creek. Yeah, let me know if you get your postcards. They've been starting to show up for some folks. Thank you, says Hector. The Herald, the hacker. Neat. Larry Titus, neat. Big E, neat. Here come the knee emoji attack. Kareem is here. Neat. There is no stopping the knee emoji attack. 181 thumbs ups. Thank you, everybody. Keep those coming on in. All right, guys, there it is. I'm out of here. I will catch you tomorrow morning first thing. Stay tuned to this channel. You never know when I pop a video up or go live. You never know. 413-point gain on the Dow, 17 to 1703 on GameStop, 48.50 on First Republic, getting a little better there. SoFi 566 up 17. Go SoFi, go! Make my viewers richer. 180 on Tesla, Apple up 240, Unity up 22, HBQ up 85. Let's see this happen even more, please. Google up 286. All righty, guys. There it is. Karen and Rolo and Flint Creek, thank you for the knee emojis and all your support, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your session. Get richer, and we'll keep an eye on this market with you. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. Take care. Bye for now.